The Golden State Warriors just dropped a bombshell on the NBA world. Not one, but two massive trades are in the works, and it could change the future of the franchise forever. Zach LaVine might be on his way to join Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler, forming a new offensive trio that could take the league by storm. And that's just the beginning. Jonathan Kuminga is at the center of trade talks, and his future with the team is suddenly in question. What's happening behind the scenes? What does Steve Kerr think about all this? And is this the move that finally gets the Warriors back to championship contention? Stick around, this is the news every Warriors fan needs to hear. The Golden State Warriors have just made a move that could shake up the entire NBA landscape, and it's not just one, but two major trades that are now on the table. Sources from inside the league are now confirming what fans have been speculating for weeks. And let's not bury the headline here. Zach LaVine could be on his way to San Francisco to join Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and potentially form one of the most electric lineups in the Western Conference. The Warriors front office is cooking, and this time, they might just be all in. Everything came to a head in the last 48 hours when reports began surfacing that Golden State had officially contacted the Chicago Bulls to discuss trade frameworks centered around LaVine. This isn't the first time his name has come up, but the tone of the conversation has now changed. This is serious. The Bulls are entering what looks to be a rebuild, and LaVine's massive contract is something they're open to moving if the return is right. Enter the Warriors, a team desperate to retool while still keeping their championship window alive. But the news doesn't stop there. The second part of the Warriors' plan is just as jaw-dropping, involving one of their most intriguing young assets, Jonathan Kuminga. According to insiders, Kuminga's name has come up in multiple trade talks not because the Warriors want to give up on him, but because his value has skyrocketed after an impressive stretch of games this season. Teams around the league view him as a future star, and Golden State is weighing their options very carefully. They're not just going to let him go, but in the right deal, he could be the key to unlocking another big-time acquisition. And guess what? Jimmy Butler is in the middle of all this. His presence in Golden State, even if still unofficial in terms of trade completion, has created a sense of urgency. Butler is the type of veteran leader the Warriors have been craving to pair with Curry. His toughness, his playoff mentality, his no-nonsense energy, it fits perfectly with what the Warriors are trying to build. He's not here to develop. He's here to win now. And so is Steph. So is Draymond. And if they add Zach LaVine to that core, we could be looking at a firepower-packed lineup that brings a whole new level of offense to the Bay. So how do all these pieces fit? Let's talk possibilities. The LaVine deal reportedly includes a package with expiring contracts and draft assets. The Warriors have the flexibility to move guys like Chris Paul, whose contract is only partially guaranteed. Andrew Wiggins' name is also floating around, especially since his production hasn't matched his 2022 Finals impact this season. And if it takes Wiggins and picks to get LaVine, who's averaging over 20 points per game with elite athleticism, the Warriors are very tempted to pull the trigger. Now here's the twist: LaVine isn't the only target. A second trade is reportedly in motion, and this one is aimed at adding size and interior defense. One name that has popped up in the rumors? Jakob Poeltl. The Raptors' big man has long been linked to teams in need of size, and Golden State is at the top of that list. They've struggled to rebound consistently, and when Draymond is off the floor, their paint defense suffers. Bringing in someone like Poeltl, who brings rim protection, size, and rebounding, could be the perfect complement to the LaVine splash. That's what makes this so fascinating. It's not just about adding flashy names. It's about fit. It's about filling gaps and building a team that's ready for the grind of the playoffs. Because make no mistake, the Warriors are trying to avoid the play-in tournament altogether and go straight to the playoffs with momentum. And these trades could be the golden ticket to get them there. Now let's circle back to Jonathan Kuminga. The Warriors know what they have. He's explosive, athletic, and improving with every game. The coaching staff loves his development, but they also know the reality: they might not have time to wait. If trading Kuminga brings back an all-star level piece who fits this win-now window, they'll have to make a hard decision. One scenario involves moving Kuminga and Moody in a 3-team deal that could bring both LaVine and another veteran role player to the Bay. Risky? Yes. But also potentially championship-saving. Jimmy Butler reportedly has already begun informal talks with key players about chemistry, defense, and mindset. He wants to win. He chose Golden State for a reason. He sees the potential, the leadership, and the culture. And now he wants the front office to act with urgency. There's no time for a rebuild. It's win or go home. And these trades? These are win-now moves. Stephen Curry is all in. Sources close to the team say that he's fully supportive of adding LaVine and even open to letting go of some of the young core if it means another ring. He's playing at an MVP level again. His leadership has never been more vocal. And after a rocky season filled with injuries and inconsistency, Curry wants answers. He wants help. And he might be getting it fast. Fans are losing their minds over the possibility of seeing a starting 5 with Curry, LaVine, Butler, Draymond, and possibly Poeltl or Looney. That's a mix of elite scoring, veteran IQ, lockdown defense, and championship experience. Add in Kai Sotto rumors floating in the background, and this team suddenly becomes a powerhouse again, with youth waiting in the wings for the future. The Western Conference is stacked. You've got the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Clippers, the Lakers, and OKC all in the mix. The Warriors need firepower. They need fresh legs. They need athleticism. These trades, if completed, solve all of that. And more. So where does this leave Kuminga? If he stays, he becomes the key young piece moving forward, maybe even a future all-star. If he's traded, he's a sacrifice for another championship run. Either way, his name will be a storyline all off-season long. And don't sleep on Jimmy Butler's influence here. This guy changes locker rooms. He makes players accountable. He raises standards. And Golden State has needed that edge since their 2022 title. If Butler and Curry click and LaVine gets added to the mix, defenses won't know who to guard. You can't double everyone. The floor spacing, the shot making, the transition offense, it's potentially unstoppable. Steve Kerr has reportedly met with the front office this week. He's aware of every detail. He wants to keep the Warriors competitive without sacrificing the future, but even he knows it's now or never. With Curry, Butler, and Draymond not getting any younger, you have to chase rings while the window is cracked open. Keep your eyes on the coming days. Things are happening fast. Multiple executives say the Warriors are one of the busiest teams right now in trade discussions.